Jace, it's that time.
It's that time.
It is that time. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am absolutely ready. And what an exciting video that we have for you today, because we are fresh off the 124th running of the US Open, and we had the man himself, Bryson DeChambeau, who is single-handedly uniting the game of golf with bringing some excitement to the game. I don't know about you, but watching Bryson interact with the crowd and just the way he handled business out there was just really, really great.
It's bringing some energy.
Awesome, wasn't it? Amazing. Congratulations. And I know a lot of you at home probably could tell me that you could hit that 55-yard bunker shot on the 18th hole. I'm going to tell you right now, that shot was incredible. That was an incredibly difficult shot under that kind of pressure, and he handled it like an absolute boss. Jace, what are we talking about today with Bryson?
Talk about speed.
I think that probably makes the most sense, is to talk about speed. Why would we talk about speed when it comes to Bryson?
Because he is averaging 20 more miles per hour ball speed than the rest of the tour.
20 more miles an hour of ball speed than the rest of the PGA Tour. He's averaging 192 miles an hour of ball speed. And I know a lot of you at home probably don't know what that really means, but that is fast. We're going to be talking about P5 and P6. That should get the forum guys all excited, huh, Jace?
Yeah, we're getting real technical this week.
We're talking about P5 and P6. We're talking about the importance of getting your hands and arms to move really fast in the downswing. Yes, we are. Then, later on in the week, Jason and I are going to be heading out onto the range, and we're going to be showing you a drill that helps you power down and speed up in the downswing. We're going to be focusing in on a key move today, though, that you're going to see all of the best men and women in the world have in their golf swings. And you're going to see that the importance of being able to stay in sequence in that first critical move in transition. We know the hands and arms need to go fast. It's how and when you use the hands and arms in the golf swing that really makes or breaks your success. So hopefully you guys are ready to take that ride. Congratulations to Bryson. We absolutely love what you're doing for the game of golf. And quite honestly, I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. We're going to take a look at your golf swing now. Oh yeah, before we look at this golf swing, do me a big favor. Head down below, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, because you're going to get notified when the new video comes out. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post it up below. And also, do us a big favor, hit the thumbs up. It's good for our psyche. Now, let's get to work. Okay, so there are two big questions that I want to answer today, because I want you to have an understanding of what's right versus what's not right, or wrong, if you will. But one of the things that I get asked all the time, is it okay for my left foot to come up off the ground as I start to make my takeaway in my backswing? Of course it is. Lifting your left foot up off the ground is going to allow your hips to shift, and it's going to allow your hips to rotate. As long as it doesn't create any sort of excess horizontal or lateral movement in the golf swing, or it doesn't create some sort of unstable rotation from your hips, we're always on board with this movement. You want to remember that your hips have to rotate, but it's not as much as you might think. Somewhere between 30 to 40 degrees going back is considered optimal, and a lot of you probably have that available to you without picking your left foot up off the ground. But one of the things that I like to do with this left foot action is I like to use it as a starting the downswing sort of movement. But before we get into that, I want to talk about what P5 and P6 means and the importance of getting the hands and arms to move fast through that section of the golf swing. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see Bryson is actually in P5 right now. This is in the downswing where the lead arm is roughly parallel to the ground. And then P6 is going to be when the hands get down in front of the trail thigh. At right around P5.5, so somewhere right in between the two of these marks, is going to be when the hands reach their peak speed. We want the hands and arms to be moving very quickly. Now, I know a lot of you have been following my content for quite a while now, and you understand that we talk about the zone above lead arm parallel to the ground as being your slow zone. This is your zone of patience. This is when you start to transfer your weight. But every single person that plays this game at the highest level is going to get their hands and arms moving fast from the top of the downswing, right as soon as we start moving left. But if you don't stay in sequence, then you're going to make for a very sticky situation on your hands. Now, the position that we're going to talk about here today, and what you're going to see with all players that play this game at the highest level, is when the lead arm is parallel to the ground on the way down. And I want you to look at the right-hand side of the screen very closely. And I want you to watch the sequence of movements that takes place from the start of the downswing, or to start the downswing, if you will. Watch this left foot go into the ground, and watch what the hips do as that left foot goes down and starts to get a lot of pressure put underneath it. And I want you to look very closely at where the hips are when the lead arm is now parallel to the ground. The hips have come back to a square position. A square position. Lead arm parallel to the ground. Most of you at home we see with the hands all the way down in front of the trail thigh. This is a position that's very common with all of the players that play at the highest level. I have a case in point for you. We have a guy that most of you know. His name is John Rahm, who's got one of the shorter golf swings that we see. And both of them are measured in the exact same tempo category. Jace, what's their tempo?
18-6.
18-6 is their 3-to-1 ratio. Now, if you watch John very closely, you're going to see him go through his takeaway into the top of the backswing. Here's where he's at the top of his backswing. I want you to look at when his hips and knees get back to a square position, exactly where his lead arm is. It's parallel to the ground. That move right there is something that you have to learn in the golf swing if you want to be successful with any hand and arm function that you have built in there. Most of you get your hands and arms way too far down in front of you and you run out of time. And what that runs you into is bad low point. It runs you into a flippy scoopy position and it forces your golf swing to lack efficiency. You want to remember that when your hands and your arms get to this section of the golf swing, they start working in the acceleration zone, the hands and the arms are going to get moved very quickly down in front of the body into the release or into P6 by what the hips are doing. The hips are going to be opening up now 35 to 45 degrees. That's rotating a lot, right? That's moving the hands and that's helping you accelerate them. That's how we produce speed in the world of efficiency. But getting the hands and arms to move fast with some activation from the top of the swing down is something that you can do. It can help you produce more speed because the faster your hands go, the faster the club head's going to go. But I want to load up Bryson's face-on view and I want to talk to you about some of the things that you're going to learn later on in the week. When you watch this movement, when he starts to make this change of direction in the golf swing, the important factor is making sure that your weight lands underneath the right spot of the foot and getting the hips and knees back to a square position. You want to get a lot of pressure moved underneath that lead ankle, and you want to make sure that the hips and knees get back to a square position. And if you can look at it, and you can also quantify your success with this based off of how the shoulders respond, now you have a way to be able to set up a whole lot of speed in your downswing. If you look at the shoulders where Bryson is right now, you're going to notice that his lead shoulder is in a very down and depressed position, and so is his trail shoulder. This has now allowed the scapulas to move back into a position where it's connected so that he can transfer energy from his trunk and his core. If the scapulas were moved up and away and he was in a shrugged position and you saw the right shoulder kind of drop down, then it would be very powerless sort of movement. It wouldn't be connected. So you're going to learn how to make this sort of movement happen in transition, and you're going to have the freedom to have some hand and arm activation. You can make your hands and arms go as fast as you want, as long as you stay in sequence. The minute you start getting out of sequence, we want no part of it. So as you're starting to embark on the journey of building better golf swings, remember, build it first around the idea that you want buttoned up sequence, and you want to be able to utilize leverage through ground force, leverage through lag and release. Don't try to get your hands and your arms moving fast at first because you're going to run into sequence-related issues. And as you start to get better and better, and you get to that sort of graduate level with us here at MyGolfDNA, then by all means, we can start talking to you about different ways to be able to add more speed to the hands and arms on the way down. We'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, yeah. Those look pretty good.